Hello my loves, what is up? Welcome back to my channel, welcome back to another video. I first and foremost wanted to say the biggest thank you for all of the love and support on my last video. It would have felt weird not acknowledging that because I have just been absolutely blown away by the level of encouragement and support that I received on my last video. If you guys didn't watch that, I announced some pretty big and exciting news pertaining to my job and my social media going forward, and yeah, it's just been so overwhelmingly positive, and I just want to thank you guys so incredibly much. And I'll go more into detail in vlogs than in my monthly reset, but I just wanted to say thank you so much. And if you're not new here, thank you so much for coming back to my channel. I really appreciate it. If you are new, welcome. My name is Ella. I am 27. I do a lot of lifestyle content, vlogs, as well as personal finance videos. This one is going to be very or purely money focused, which is some of my favorite to film. I just love sitting down and chatting all things personal finance. I'm by no means a financial expert. This is not financial advice, but I think it's so interesting seeing how different people manage their money. Like, there's no right way or wrong way. It's so personal. Take from this video what you want, leave what you don't want. And yeah, we're gonna get into my payday routine. Every single fortnight I go over our payday routine because it does differ fortnight to fortnight. I do that on TikTok and Instagram, but because it's short form, like there's only so much I can share in like a 90-second video. So we're gonna get into a little bit more detail, just like explaining things, our account setup, what we do. We did just get paid as well, so this is like very real time. Like, I'm actually gonna show you guys, pull up my budget and show you how we do it, like how we manage our money. So I'm excited. I freaking love payday. As soon as I get the notification from the bank, like, you've been paid, I'm like, oh, music to my ears, let me tell you. Actually, before I do, I guess I'll run through all of the different accounts we have so you guys kind of know what I'm referring to when I reference them. Obviously, being homeowners, being a business owner, and also having a car loan, we have multiple different accounts across multiple different financial institutes. That's just how it goes. I never used to understand why my parents had 7 different cards to 7 different banks growing up. My dad's wallet was like this thick, and I'm like, why? Like, why do you need an account with every bank? And now I realize, like, one account that you were set up with, one account for your mortgage, maybe another account for your credit card, like, it's ridiculous. Maybe one day we'll get it nice and condensed, but for now, our main account is what we call our everyday spending. So this is our debit account. My husband and I both get paid into this account every fortnight. We're currently on opposite pay cycles, so he'll get paid one week and then I'll get paid the other. This is the one that's connected to our debit account. We pay for our groceries, petrol, and all of our like everyday expenses. When we go buy coffee or we go shopping, go out for drinks, like, this is our transactional account. So money flows in and money flows out. Then we have our bills account. I would say 99% of our bills automatically come out of this account. So monthly and also quarterly bills. This is everything from our gym membership to our water bill, council rates, our home insurance, and that is the account that we set up all of our direct debits from. That account we will put a set amount into every pay and the money will just come out. And that's how we kind of keep track of things. I kind of roughly know how much our bills are going to be every month, and I'll just put that money automatically in that account. It kind of rolls over into the next month. Especially with quarterly bills, that money accumulates until it's direct debited. We used to have a savings account. We actually don't really anymore, just because we're not in that season of our life anymore. We're not really saving for anything in particular, and it would make the most sense in our situation to just put everything in our offset account. So that's basically like, our offset account is basically our savings account. So this is where our emergency fund sits. I'm not even going to try and explain what an offset account is because I feel like I'm going to butcher it. In layman's terms, it's basically an account that's linked to your home loan, usually a variable home loan. I don't know if you can do an offset account with a fixed loan. I don't think you can. Don't quote me. We couldn't, at least, for whatever reason. Whatever amount is in that offset account, say it's $50,000, that $50,000 will offset the interest on your home loan. So say if your home loan is $500,000, that's your mortgage. Rather than the interest being charged on $500,000, it will only be charged on $450,000 because you've got $50,000 sitting in that offset. I hope that makes sense. That's the best way I can kind of explain it. So essentially, like, the more money in an offset account, the better, because it's offsetting the interest on our home loan. And with rising interest rates and just how things are right now, it makes the most sense to keep all of our savings in there. So that's where our emergency fund sits, and also any savings, like our short-term savings. We have our trip coming up for the US, and so all of our savings are sitting in that account ready to be used really until we need it. Like, we'll just keep it in there as long as possible. I think you can have multiple offsets as well. This is something I do need to look into because we're only able to open one account without going into the bank. Now I'm not working, like, it'll be a little bit easier to coordinate that, but I think you can have multiple offsets. And I know a lot of people will be paid into their offset account and then just use their debit card. Because the longer the money's sitting in there, the interest is calculated every day. So the more money you have sitting in your offset, the better. So that's something we want to look into, but this is kind of how we have it set up for right now. It's really only 3 main accounts. It used to be more. Like, we used to have another savings account when we were saving for our wedding and our house deposit. That was like a high yield, high interest savings account. We could accrue interest on that, and we didn't really have much of a mortgage at the time because we were still building our house. That worked really well at the time, but now we're in a different season, a different chapter of our lives. We've had the wedding, we're in the house. We're really just focusing on paying down debt as quickly as possible, paying off our car loan, trying to chip away at our mortgage as best as we can. So those are our 3 main accounts, and then obviously I have my business accounts as well, which I won't really get into. Maybe one day if you guys want to see that. I don't know how interesting that is. So now you guys have got the 411 on our different accounts. I'm going to bring up my spreadsheet. This is the yearly 2.0 spreadsheet from CoPlenty, which I always have linked down below. Along with my discount code. I use the yearly 2.0, but they do have a bunch of different templates depending on how you like to do things. You guys obviously see this in my monthly resets, but it's kind of fun to show you how I use it in real time, like on a payday. So I'm gonna pull it up here and we're gonna get into it. Now, as I said, every payday does differ. This one is probably not the best example, actually, now I'm thinking about it, because we're towards the end of the month. So all of our bills, I think, have been paid, and now we're focusing on saving. But I'll run through what we do anyway. So this is the amount we have left over in our debit account. So $126.01. I will usually try and keep between $500 to $600, sometimes a little bit more if I know that we're going to be making a purchase or we have a lot on that week. Sometimes it'll be closer to $800, $900, but usually between $500 to $600. And then this is what we have left over. So this is after groceries, petrol, coffee, eating out, any other miscellaneous expenses. We have $126 left over, which is a nice little buffer. This is pretty typical, I would say. So then I go through here, I look at our income, and then I add our paychecks. So I just got paid. My paycheck from my part-time job this fortnight was $1,593.62. I also did just pay myself a little bit from social media. So I'm gonna add this to my social media amount. I got paid $1,303.29. So 11,309 and 29. Now our account's sitting at $3,028.92 after payday. So then I will just essentially look at my budget. Now, as I said, this does vary because we're towards the end of the month. We've already kind of set aside all of the money for our bills. So you can see here I've ticked all of them off. This private health bill is now only $74.79, which is stunning. Everything else is normal. Gym is less as well. I let my gym membership lapse at renewal until I figure out if I want to stay at that gym or if I want to go somewhere else. I know that all of our bills have been paid because they're ticked off. All of our subscriptions have been paid because they're also ticked off. So I'll just go through, I guess maybe I'll copy and paste this over so you guys can see what I would do on a typical payday. So let's use next month as an example. I will then go through and tick the ones that I'm transferring for. So I'll transfer $40, $120, it's gonna get annoying, $70, $98, and let's say $79. I'll usually try and do half. So $407 I will then transfer into our bills account. Because the money in the bills account is always accumulating and it's always at a certain amount, I know that no matter what is direct debited, there will be money in there. So I don't really have to be strategic about what we pay when, because the money is always sitting in there ready to go. First and foremost, always without fail, no matter who's getting paid, we pay our bills. So now that's done, our next focus is our mortgage and our debt payoff. So I can see here for our car loan, this is like a big money focus right now, is paying off our car loan as quickly as possible. We've contributed $1,250 towards our car loan. I sounded like I said colon. And going off the budget that I set at the beginning of this month, I would like to contribute another $1,750. And then having a look at our savings, we have $402.08 that I'd like to contribute towards our emergency fund, and I would still like to invest. Our goal was $500. So then with that in mind, we're gonna shimmy on down our transaction tracker and we're gonna make some transfers. So it's the 21st. I I'm going to put the full amount towards our car loan just so I know that that is saved for. Like, why not? Got nothing else to do really, do I, love? So that leaves us with 1,278.92. Still more than we typically have in our buffer. So I'm going to then go down. I'm then going to transfer $500 towards our emergency funds. Just title this savings. That leaves us with $778.92. I'm constantly referring back to this because I know how much money we need. It's not going to be a very expensive next week, so I know that we can probably afford to transfer maybe like $100 extra. So we'll go $100 and we're going to invest that. So that leaves us with $678.92 in our everyday spending for our groceries, our petrol, coffee, drinks, anything social. And then I can see here we can tick off our car loan because that is complete. This is like the most satisfying part, especially when it comes to tracking our bills and our debt, just to tick it off knowing that we don't have to worry about it. And our contribution to our emergency funds, we've actually paid $100 extra, but that's fine given our current circumstances. With my change of employment, it would be good to have extra in there. So now those transfers have been made. I've input them on our spreadsheet. I know exactly where we're sitting next pay cycle. I'll know how much we have left to spend because I will input all of our transactions as the week goes by. So I'll show you another example of like how this changes. So say it's the next day, February 22nd, I spend $10 on coffee, for example. This will show up in our coffee amount, like our general expenses. This will be tallied here. And then it will also change over here. This here will always reflect what is in our debit account. That's really the money hub, if you will. Money flows in, money flows out, we get paid in there, we pay our bills from that account. This is really where the money comes and the money goes. Because I've tracked everything on here, I'll know exactly our position when it comes to our next payday. So I'm always really thinking ahead. Before payday even comes around, before the pay has even hit our account, I've already mapped out exactly where that money needs to go. All because of this spreadsheet, really, to be perfectly honest. Now, obviously, not every payday is gonna look like this. I really wanna use next pay, which is due to come out at the end of this month as an example. So let's pretend we have a similar amount left over to this week. So Nick will get paid. Let's just put that in there. The money here will be what is in our debit account, so the money rolled over from the previous week, and also Nick's pay. Again, I will go through and tick these off as I transfer. I'll just transfer it as like a lump sum so I don't get confused and there's not transfers coming out my hoo-ha. So we'll do $40, 120, 70, 98, 79, and because Nick gets paid a little bit more, we'll usually transfer a bit extra, so 124.32. Okay, so we'll transfer $531.32. That'll go straight into our bills account. Again, accumulating. Don't really have to worry about it. Direct debits are coming out when they're meant to come out. We have a buffer in there. We're good. Subscriptions, I truthfully do not worry about too much just because it's so little. I think we've spent $63.95 on subscriptions for the month. They also come out of our debit account, so I'm not too worried about that. Then expenses is this left to spend money. So I just know to keep around $600 to $800 in there, depending on what we have going on for that week. Then we have our mortgage. I'll then input the date. So the first, for example, we'll do 137433. This will be our mortgage, land, and then I just title it mortgage. I can take that one off now because the amount is covered. Our mortgage is currently split because we used to have a fixed loan, not anymore as of next month, which I'm really sad about. So one payment comes out at the beginning of the month and then one payment comes out halfway through the month every fortnight. So it does depend on who's getting paid as to what we would contribute to what part of the mortgage. But after that, after half of our bills have been paid and our mortgage is covered, that leaves us with $827.83. That's pretty close to what I would like to keep in our debit account. On like a busier week, I'd probably leave it here. But just for example's sake, we'll maybe contribute $150 towards our emergency fund. So March 1st, $150, emergency savings. and that it's all beautifully tracked on our beautiful graph. That then leaves us with $677.83 left to spend. So that's like a hypothetical look. This is like identical to what we'll be doing next month when we get that paycheck for Nick. I'm just gonna delete all of this because we're just living in the future here. And that is it. That is our payday routine. I really hope that I explained this in like a simple, easy to understand way that wasn't too convoluted. Everyone's income and expenses are going to look totally different, but I think the principle and the processes that we follow, hopefully you guys can apply if it works for you. I think this is the thing, like there's no right way or wrong way to do things. It's literally just whatever makes sense in your head and whatever works for you. I think having a bills account is so key though. That's like one of the best things we did because we just do not have to worry about our bills. No matter what financial situation we've been in, even when I was unemployed, I never felt any stress or anxiety about having to pay our bills because we had this accumulating amount in a separate account that was specifically for bills, and I just knew we had to contribute a certain amount that would cover them. I don't have to keep track of when the next bill's due because the direct debit just automatically comes out and it's not interfering with anything else. It also just gives you that peace of mind knowing that whatever is left over is yours to spend freely or is yours to save, because your bills are covered, all of your expenses are covered. It's now focusing on your wants or savings. Hopefully that makes sense. I really hope it does. There's no perfect way that's going to work well for everyone because everyone's circumstances and situation are so different. But this is just what has been working well for us. And as I said, it might change in the future. It has changed. When we were deep into the hustling, saving chapter of our lives, when we were paying for a wedding and a house deposit, we were a lot more focused on the savings element of things. So we would just make sure our bills are paid, very similar to what we already do, set aside money for our bills and then put money straight into our savings account. We had a very specific amount, say it was like $3,000 a month. We would put automatically $3,000 into that savings account. And if we didn't have much money left over, like that was tough titties, you know, just gotta figure it out. We had savings goals and we were prepared to make sacrifices to meet them. But we're at a very different time in our life right now, in a very fortunate, very fortunate position. So yeah, hopefully that helped. I'm really interested to see how things change now that I will be fully self-employed. As I said, I'm gonna go deeper into this in my March budget. I think we'll be sticking with like a very similar pay cycle to what we already have. So I'll be paying myself a certain amount similar to what I already make from my part-time job, and I'll just pay myself when I would normally get paid from my part-time job, just to try and keep a sense of consistency and stability, because social media income is so sporadic. That will mean we're making a lot less. Like I will be taking a pay cut. It might be a bit slower to reaching our financial goals, maybe cutting down on certain expenses, but to be honest, we live a very fortunate lifestyle. Like we don't really need to spend any more money. Like I don't need 2 jobs. I would much rather a simpler, slower, more balanced life. So anyway, I'm gonna end off this video here, but I really hope you guys found this helpful or interesting, or maybe you're just like me and you're nosy. I'll put my hand up. I'm a nosy Nelly and I love seeing how people manage their money. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe as well if you're not already. Also follow me over on my Instagram and my TikTok if you guys want to see real-time payday routines, what I spend in a week. I do a lot of finance content on both platforms, so make sure you go check them out. I love you guys so much and I'll see you very soon for another video. Bye guys.